Hello everybody, I'm Buddy Strange, this is StrangeVoodooTV. Week 3 is in the books, and we are on to Week 4. Let's just get into it. Alright, the win of the week is going to be the Giants winning over the Buccaneers. And first off, I know they shouldn't have won. Matt Gay should have made that field goal, so this is kind of like, come on. But they did win, and they did show out when it mattered. Daniel Jones getting 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. Best dual threat rookie QB, no. Saquon Barkley did get lost in the game, and now for a couple weeks, 4 to 6, actually. Couple is 2, buddy. 4 to 6 weeks. However, they did get the win, and it was very impressive. I doubted them, but they pulled through and they got it. An honorable mention, and some could argue the Saints over the Seahawks as the actual win of the week. I could buy into that. They're an honorable mention here because the Giants are getting the win of the week. Alright, the loss of the week is going to be the Steelers losing to the 49ers. They had 5 turnovers on defense, and when you have 5 turnovers, that's basically signed, sealed, delivered, baby, the game's yours. You know what I'm saying? But no, the Steelers lost it in the end. The 49ers just were able to make enough plays to win the game. The bright side for the Steelers, though, is Minkah Fitzpatrick was balling out, dude. Forced fumble, interception, and just flying all over the field. Tackle after tackle. Did get bulldozed by Kyle Juszczyk during one play, but besides that, Minkah Fitzpatrick was playing really good ball, and only his first game there. So that should be a good sign for things moving forward for the Steelers, maybe even into this next week. We'll see in the pick'em, but no, the loss of the week is definitely the Steelers.
Can you smell what the nuns are cooking?
Alright, time for SVTV's Players of the Week. Let's get into it. First off, the Offensive Player of the Week is going to be Mark Ingram. Now, there were a bunch of good candidates this week. Mike Evans, Kyle Allen. You remember Kyle Allen, right? This kid?
I'll grow up to be big and strong like you.
Absolutely.
I'm playing the NFL.
Yes, sir.
Become the starting quarterback of the Panthers.
Okay.
You can be my backup.
Excuse me?
And make Panthers fans forget about you. And become your mom's favorite player.
Whoa.
I'm just loosening my arm.
Anyway, no, he took over for Cam Newton this past week and just had himself a game. But no, unfortunately, he's not the player of the week. I'm giving it to Mark Ingram, who had himself a fantastic day. 3 touchdowns on the ground. 108 yards rushing, I believe. Totally balled out in the loss. I understand it was a loss. For that alone, I understand I probably should have given it to Kyle Allen. And you know what? Spur of the moment decision here on SVTV. Put Kyle Allen up there instead of Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram does get the honorable mention, but Kyle Allen, for the first time in SVTV history, we have a swap mid-video on a Player of the Week. We've given it to 2 people before, and maybe that's the right thing to do here, but no, I want to... I'm going to give it to Kyle Allen outright just because of the journey that it took from that Play 60 commercial all the way to get to the NFL and actually fulfill the prophecy that was bestowed upon him by the writers of that commercial. It's just a great, heartwarming story, and here on SVTV, we love those. So, with 4 touchdowns, I don't know how many yards off the top of my head, but you can see it on the sidebar there. Kyle Allen is SVTV's Offensive Player of the Week. Alright, Defensive Player of the Week, there's no doubt about this one. Shaq Barrett. Are you kidding me? 6 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He has 8 sacks on the season, which is absolutely insane, leading the league. This guy is an absolute manimal, and I told you before the season, I told you last year when he was a rotational edge rusher for the Broncos, this guy is really good. I've loved him from the start. One of my favorite outside linebackers in the NFL, and he just continued to produce for the Buccaneers this week. Like I said, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. That is absolutely insane. But anyway, yeah, he had himself a really good week. I wouldn't be surprised if he continues that into this next week. Alright, Special Teams Player of the Week is going to be Matt Gay for his game-winning... Oh, wait. Oh. Anyway, the special teams player of the week, the actual special teams player of the week, is going to be Jamal Agnew. 100-yard return touchdown on a kickoff, 124 total return yards. Really good day. The first kickoff return touchdown of the season, and those are always exciting and worthy of honoring here on SVTV and in general. Jamal Agnew over the past couple of years has proven to be a really good returner, and he definitely showed it on his only kickoff return of the day. His one and only one he returns to the house. That is very impressive. Good job, Jamal Agnew. You deserve it this week, buddy. All right, everybody, are you ready for SVTV's Play of the Week?
Agnew was benched a week ago in the win over the Chargers, but back in there today, a dangerous return man is Agnew, and he's across midfield, and he might take this one all the way. He will take it all the way. Jamal Agnew, 100 yards.
All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed SVTV's Play of the Week. If you did, hit that like button and tell me in the comments below if I got it right. If not, tell me which play you think deserves Play of the Week. All right, everybody, let's see how we did this past week. We went 10 out of 16, which is a respectable 63%. Actually, it's 62.5%, but here on SVTV, we round up here, baby. Anyway, 63% this past week. Pretty good, pretty respectable. There were a couple games that I was very disappointed in the losing team. Of course, the Chargers were one of them, but I mean, I guess I could really see the Texans winning that one. Anyway, that was more of a good job by the Texans rather than a bad job by the Chargers, but still the past couple of weeks have not been looking good. If they don't get it right this week, and if you don't know why, you'll see why. It will be one of the biggest disappointments of the whole season. But anyway, yeah, the Buccaneers were one. Pretty much, I went 7 of 9 between the early games and the Thursday night game, and then I went 1 of 5 in the mid-late games, and then luckily I was able to get Sunday night and Monday night to round it off at 10 out of 16. Yeah, a couple games didn't go the way I thought they would. But anyway, let's get into week 4. All right, Thursday night we have the Eagles versus the Packers. The Eagles coming off a disappointing loss to the Lions. The Lions earned it, don't get me wrong, but the Eagles had some really sloppy plays on both sides of the ball, mainly on offense, but both sides of the ball. The Packers, on the other hand, have been steamrolling teams. Defensively, they are showing up and showing out, that is for sure. Offensively, they've had moments, but no real consistency on offense, and that's a little bit concerning, but in this game against the Eagles, I don't think it really matters too much. I mean, of course it always matters, but with the Eagles defense the way it is, well, the secondary the way it is, I think Aaron Rodgers can have himself a good day. Aaron Jones might struggle in the running game just a little bit, but I do think the Packers pull this one out at home. Yes, they're going to be in Lambeau, and I do think they pull it out on Thursday night, 34-17 over the Eagles. And I know any Packers fans out there watching who've watched my last couple of videos, they're probably like, whoa, buddy, please don't call the Packers. You're 0-3 on Thursday night so far, and you'd be right. But damn it, I'm picking your team, and we're looking to go 1 of 4 on Thursday night here, okay? We're looking to win. To be fair, I should have picked the Jaguars, because Gardner Minshew, baby, he's here to win. He's in the league to win. Anyway, no. Here, Packers win. Alright, next up, Redskins vs. Giants. The Giants coming off an amazing victory in Daniel Jones' debut game. They got lucky a couple times. Daniel Jones had it was an obvious interception dropped by the defensive back. Of course, Matt Gay shanking the hell out of the ball, losing the game for the Buccaneers. But, that being said, Daniel Jones looked really good in his debut game. He looked like he did in the preseason. He continued his success into the regular season, which is really cool to see. He was the leading rusher for the Giants, probably mainly due to Saquon losing an ankle during that game, and that is definitely going to be a factor here versus the Redskins, who are coming off a tough loss against the Bears, where they turned over the ball, 500 times? Something like that. It was about 500. Clint Dix went off on him. But with that, I do Oh man, this is going to be a tough one, but I do think the Giants pull it out, even without Saquon Barkley. I think Daniel Jones, I didn't think he was going to get the win last week. I truly didn't, but I thought, thinking ahead of myself, that he was going to get the win this week. And since we already know how last week went, and it went well, against a pretty solid Bucs defense, a Bucs defense that, again, Shaq Barrett sacked him 4 times, and he was still able to pull it out. I think here, even if Ryan Kerrigan goes off, or whoever, I think the Giants can go out and win with Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones can have himself a day on that Redskins secondary. The front 7 looks really good, but the back 4 don't look great. I mean, Landon Collins probably their best. Josh Norman seems to get burnt every game, at least a couple plays, and I think Daniel Jones can take advantage of that in this game, especially at home. Giants win 23-17 over the Redskins. I also think I'm not agreeing with Jay Gruden's and the Redskins play calling over the past couple of games. They have it in the bag. Well, not last week, but the first 2 weeks they had it in the bag. All they had to do was finish the game out. Couldn't do that. This past week they were, from start to finish, they were getting toasted on both sides of the ball. And I think this week is it's close, but it's no different. They still come out on bottom. All right, next up, Chargers versus Dolphins. All right, Chargers fans, this is the game I was talking about. If you can't win this one, the season is basically over. With that being said, they do have Keenan Allen, Phillip Rivers, Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa, Adrian Phillips, Casey Hayward.
The gang's all here.
And guess what? They are all pissed. They are mad. They lost to the Lions. They lost to the Texans. Are you kidding me? They are not happy campers. And guess what? I think they just take it out on. I do. I think they take it out. Eckler probably has himself a game, but I think out of all of them, Phillip Rivers, I'm going to go out on a limb and call Phillip Rivers 5 touchdowns. I do think the Chargers win over the Dolphins 35-13. I think the Dolphins are outmatched on both sides of the ball here. If they win, automatic win of the week. Put it in the I don't care any other team wins. If the Dolphins win over the Chargers this week, automatic win of the week. Count it. It's in the books. Chalk it up. Marker it up. Okay, that's permanent marker too. Okay. No, the Dolphins, again, starting Josh Rosen this week. And then on the other side of the ball, it definitely did not help trading away Minkah Fitzpatrick, leaving you with pretty much Xavier Howard as the lone superstar on the defense. And yeah, for all that, Dolphins lose at home. All right, the Raiders versus Colts. The Raiders coming off a pounding to the Vikings. The Colts coming off what should have been a blowout win turned a close win against the Falcons, but the Falcons are respectable. Matty Ice got hot. I said he was going to be cold, and he started off really cold. He started off ice cold. Matty Ice cold. But then turned it into Matty Ice hot in the end with 2 touchdowns, getting it to a very close 24-27 loss to the Colts. The Colts, Jacoby Brissett, 16 passes in a row to start out the game, couple of touchdowns, looking pretty good. The Colts did lose Malik Hooker, which is going to be a blow to the defense for sure, but I think the rest of the defense can come through in his absence, and I do think the Colts win 27-20 over the Raiders this week. They are playing in Indianapolis, and I do think that matters. I mean, the Raiders have to come all the way from California to Indiana, and I think that will take a toll on them. Actually, wait, they played in Minnesota this past week. They probably stayed in the Midwest and then are going to Indianapolis. It wouldn't make sense for them to go to California, back to California, and then back. So I may be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong on the Colts winning, so Colts win. All right, the Panthers versus the Texans. The Panthers, Kyle Allen, baby. Okay. 4 touchdowns, which is 4 more than Cam has this season in 2 games. Very impressive game by him. Defense played really well, too. The Texans, on the other hand, getting a big win over the Chargers, who I definitely overestimated, apparently. But that's nothing new. That's nothing new with the Chargers. On the note of Christian quarterbacks, Chargers' own Phillip Rivers just got his favorite target back. Antonio Gates has rejoined the squad on a 1-year deal. Gates, in his reintroductory press conference, said, "I'm ready to have an unprecedented amount of hype, only to underperform and miss the playoffs yet again." Anyway, Texans defensively are worse than they were last year for sure. I mean, they lost Kareem Jackson, Tyrann Mathieu, Jadeveon Clowney, Aaron Colvin when he was cut after week 1, which was stupid. I still don't get that one. But their defense is definitely worse, but they're still able to squeak out games. They do have a pretty good defense still. J.J. Watt, Bernard McKinney, even Zach Cunningham, Bradley Roby, so on and so forth. So they're doing all right. But is it enough to win this game? Offensively, Deshaun Watson doing Deshaun Watson type things. He's been good from the start, and he continues year in, year out, when he's not injured, to be a very good and reliable quarterback. Their run game has shown spurts here and there, and then DeAndre Hopkins is very consistent. And in this one, I think Deshaun Watson can have himself a game. I think DeAndre Hopkins can continue to have a good season. The defense against Kyle Allen, I think the defense is better than the Cardinals. I do like the Cardinals defense. I think they're a good defense, but I think the Texans are a little step above, and I think they can get it done here. I do think the Texans win 28-21 over the Panthers. Kyle Allen may have the 3 touchdowns to get that 21 that I predicted. Who knows? I think he probably could have a good game against a secondary, which is probably the weak spot for the Texans if there is one on defense. So if he can take advantage of that, if the Panthers offensive line can hold off that rush for long enough, I think Kyle Allen can continue to progress and have a good week this week as well. But I think despite that, Texans win it. All right, the Chiefs versus the Lions, both undefeated teams. The Lions escaping with wins against some pretty good teams these past couple of weeks, and a tie in the first game. Matthew Stafford is playing some of his best ball that I've seen in a long time from him. That defense is stepping up and becoming a force to be reckoned with, which is something that was predicted to happen, being that Matt Patricia is the head coach. He's a defensive-minded guy, really good defensive coordinator, and as a head coach has been so-so, but this year he's been pretty damn good. The thing I thought was he didn't have enough pieces on defense to be able to do what he wanted to do, but apparently he does have enough, and they've been doing what they wanted to do. That being said, they have to do what they want to do against the Chiefs this week, and the Chiefs are smoking hot, okay? Patrick Mahomes is actually on pace for a better season than last season. Now, I came out and I said I don't think he gets 50 touchdowns again. I wouldn't be surprised if he got 40, but with the way the season's going, I may be wrong there. He may be the first quarterback ever to have 50 plus touchdowns in 2 seasons, let alone back-to-back seasons. Are you kidding me? I'm still not sure on that one. I still think he gets around 40, maybe upper 40s, mid 40s, somewhere around there. He may level out here somewhere down the line, but here I think he does go off along with the rest of the Chiefs offense. I think the Chiefs do win 31-24 over the Lions. I think the Lions can come out on offense. I think Matthew Stafford can have a good day against the Chiefs, especially that secondary. They haven't been that good over the past, couple of seasons, but this season they haven't been good at all. That pass rush hasn't really been getting to the quarterbacks. Chris Jones is still dominating up front. Frank Clark has been off and on, but overall they haven't been getting what they need out of the pass rush. Every once in a while you'll see it come through, but it's not nearly enough. So I do think the Lions have a good day on offense, but ultimately the Chiefs just outscore the hell out of them and win in Detroit. And if the Lions pull this one out, Jesus, are you kidding me? We'll see. All right, up next is the Patriots versus the Bills. Okay, in this one, I have a dilemma, fellas and ladies. I have not put a score down here. I have not even predicted who won yet on my pad, and that is because I'm conflicted. Part of me says the Patriots are good. The Patriots are real good. Like, defensively, they are a stacked powerhouse. Offensively, they have really good players as well. Josh Gordon, amazing. Sony Michel, are you kidding me? That line is playing really good. Even after losing a few key players, that offensive line is playing magnificent for Dante Scarnecchia. And then, of course, the ageless wonder, Tom Brady, coming in, having himself above average games. Julian Edelman might be out this week, which is something to look out for. The dilemma I'm facing is they're both undefeated. The Bills are playing at home. They are going to be hungry. Bills Mafia, are you kidding me? A 3-0 Bills team? This isn't like 0-3, they're playing at home. Bills Mafia, which would show up anyway to an 0-3 Bills game at home. No, they're gonna show up and show out, and you better believe they're gonna be bringing the best beer and the best sex toys you have ever seen to that game. They are proud of their team. They're proud of their team. And Pancho Villa's son, who is at this last game, I have no doubt in my mind he's probably gonna be at this game too, in honor of his late and great and famous Bills fan, Pancho Villa, his father. I guess we can call him Pancho Villa Jr. He's carrying on the legacy, which is great to see. He may be the good luck charm for the Bills this season. Part of me really wants to call probably what many would call an upset and the Bills win. They have been performing really good, but it's been close games against teams that aren't really that great. I'll admit that. But guess what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to call the Bills. Okay.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Alright. The Bills will win 28-24 over the Patriots. And guess what? Frank Gore will have 3 touchdowns. I'm calling it right now. Of course I don't know, but I'm gonna say it. I think on the legs of Frank Gore, the ageless wonder himself, the ageless wonder Tom Brady wish he was, Frank Gore will win the game for the Bills along with the defense. I think the defense plays out. I think Tre'Davious White, Gronkowski isn't there to take cheap shots. I think Tre'Davious White gets himself maybe a couple picks. I think at least definitely one. Jordan Poyer out there. The one thing that I'm concerned about is they don't have Harrison Phillips on the field for the rest of the season. It seems he is out indefinitely, which sucks. He was one of my favorite Bills and a really good presence up front for him. Dawson Knox is a breakout player for the Bills. He might have himself another big game. This past week he broke out and he broke out big, breaking some chins along the way. Oh my god. Did you see that run? I'll probably have it shown on the screen right now, but man, that was an impressive performance and play by Dawson Knox. And if he can have himself a good game, I think it's going to go well for the Bills this week. That being said, we're going with it. Bills win at home. Alright everybody, up next is the Browns versus the Ravens. This is going to be a good test for the Browns, who are coming off a tough week against a really good team, a really respectable Rams team. The Ravens also coming off a tough but close loss to a really good team in the Chiefs. I knew it was going to be a really exciting game. I'm glad it was. I'm glad it was as good for both teams. That was a really exciting game. I was off by 3 points for both teams, which I'm excited about. Anyway, this is going to be a really good test, like I said, for the Browns coming in to Baltimore and trying to get a win on the road against a huge divisional opponent who is playing good ball. The Browns have been struggling a little bit. I think their communication isn't what it needs to be, and they're not gelled yet. It may be that it takes the rest of the season and one more offseason to fully get that team where it needs to be. You had a lot of really good pieces coming in, but not a lot of time to get them together and put the puzzle together. You know what I mean? Like, you have this awesome puzzle, but it's 1,000 pieces, and you only have 2 hours to get it all. You know, it's not going to be what it should be unless you have a little bit more time to get that puzzle where it needs to be. You know what I mean? But that being said, I do think the Ravens win at home. I think Lamar Jackson can have himself a pretty good day, both through the air and on the ground. Again, he is dual threat. He is one of the ultimate dual threat quarterbacks, and I'm excited because I've really wanted another Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick type talent in the league, and I think he has shown that he can be that through these first couple of weeks and even last year. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of the kid so far, and I'm really excited for the rest of his career. But before we focus on the rest of his career, this game, I think the Ravens win 27-24 over the Browns. I think it's going to be a narrow victory, but a victory nonetheless. I think the Browns may find a little bit of a spark, but not going to be near enough to win them the game. And the Ravens come out on top. Alright, the Titans versus the Falcons. Both teams coming off tough games in which they both lost. It's going to be a close one, I think. I think both teams are pretty evenly matched. I think the Falcons obviously have the better offense. The Titans have the better defense. Well, maybe not name value wise, but coaching wise and the way they play, I think they're a better defense than the Falcons. And also being that Keanu O'Neal is out for the season with an Achilles tear, which is terrible to hear. Second season in a row that he's had to miss the season by getting injured early in the season, which sucks. Thoughts go out to him. Hopefully he can recover well come back next season and just ball the hell out for his team. But that being said, it is going to be in Atlanta, which isn't a far drive or probably still a flight for the Titans, but I do think the Falcons can take advantage with that offense, even over a good Titans defense. I think they get to Matt Ryan early, but the Falcons are able to pull it out in the end, and I do think the Falcons win 26-20 over the Titans. I think the Titans offense, there might be even a Deion Jones pick 6 or something. Grady Jarrett forces a fumble, Deion Jones picks it up and runs it in. Whatever, Vic Beasley somehow gets a touchdown. I don't know, Desmond Trufant pick 6s, Marcus Mariota. There might be a defensive score as well for the Falcons. I think they're going to get turnovers this game on the Titans, and I just think the Falcons can squeak it out at home. All right, the Buccaneers versus the Rams. The Buccaneers coming off a really tough loss. The Rams coming off a solid win. I mean, it could have gone a lot better for them, but it was against a Browns team who's not going to be a pushover this season outside of the first game, I guess, but for the rest of the season shouldn't be a pushover team. The Rams are the way better team. They're playing at home. I mean, Tampa Bay has to come all the way from Tampa to Los Angeles, which is really far, and I think that also can have an effect on them. And I do think the Rams win, and I think they win pretty big. I think the Rams win 34-21 over the Buccaneers. I do think Mike Evans, who had himself a big day this past week, I think he can have himself a day against Marcus Peters, who hasn't been playing well. Aqib Talib's aging, and he hasn't been playing his best ball. I mean, you still have John Johnson and Eric Weddle, who are playing out of their minds on the back end, but as far as corners go, if they get a one-on-one at any point in the game, Mike Evans is going to tear them up. That is for sure. Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib both aren't what they used to be, which is somewhat sad to see, but given their personalities, I'm thinking a lot of you don't mind one bit, unless you're Rams fans. But that being said, the Rams, I think, do pull it out. All right, Seahawks versus Cardinals, a good divisional matchup here. Should be a fun one. I almost penciled in the Cardinals, and if they did win last week against the Panthers, I probably would have said Cardinals. And another thing really quickly on the Cardinals-Panthers game, I really believe in my heart and my soul, I do think if Cam Newton played in that game, Cardinals would have won. Just saying. Just wanted to put that out there. But anyway, this game, the Cardinals versus the Seahawks coming off a tough win against the Saints. The Saints? Are you kidding me? That was a good win. I told you not to sleep on Bridgewater. There you go. But Seahawks coming on off a tough loss, even going into Arizona. I think they're coming in angry. They're thinking they should have won that game at home. Are you kidding me? To the Saints. They lost in CenturyLink. That's got to sting hard. And they're not happy about it. They're going to be a mad team. Divisional games, of course, both teams are going to play amplified. Both teams are going to bring it. And I do think it's going to be a close one. I do think it's going to be a close one, but I do think the Seahawks come into Arizona and win 24-20 over Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. This should be an exciting one. Both dual threat quarterbacks. Both have pretty solid defenses. Seahawks probably a better defense, but I mean, Jadeveon Clowney, Chandler Jones, they're pretty equal in their abilities. Chandler Jones having the better statistical seasons over the past couple of seasons, but Jadeveon Clowney, very good edge rusher. I might argue that the defensive backfield for the Cardinals is a little bit better. Hey, they get Patrick Peterson back next week, so that should be a big boost to the Cardinals as well. But on offense, I think the Cardinals can get it done a little bit, but I think the Seahawks defense is going to be a little bit too much. All right, next up, Jaguars versus Broncos. Gardner Minshew, baby. Guy who tried to break his hand to keep college eligibility. Are you kidding me, Gardner? He's the embodiment of the man, the myth, the legend status. Are you kidding? He is absolutely unbelievable. He is something else. And yes, I have fallen head over heels into Minshew mania. Beowulf Gardner Flint Minshew II is absolutely one of my favorite quarterbacks at the moment. And of course, he's a lot of people's favorite quarterback at the moment. He's what everyone wants to talk about, which is fine by me because I'm really enjoying all the stories that are coming out about him, like him trying to break his hand and just different stories about his workouts and how he got offered to be a porn star / cam model. I mean, come on. He's just a fun guy who does it for the love of the game. He just wants to play. He's like a Brett Favre. He just loves the game. He'd do it if he had to do it for $1 type of thing. He just wants to play football. And I'm glad he got the shot. Sorry, Nick Foles. I wish he didn't have to come in under the circumstance of injury, but still, he's in there, and you gotta love the kid. I mean, he's fun to watch on and off the field. Anyway, that being said, the Broncos coming off a tough loss, tough 3 weeks, actually, and the Jaguars coming off a pretty solid win where Minshew probably should have had 3 touchdowns, but came away with 2 against against the Titans, which I said was a pretty good defense, and I'm going to stick by it. They're a pretty good defense. They're coached really well, really solid, but that's not the teams we're talking about. The Jaguars defense, speaking about defenses, is starting to actually come into its own and starting to dominate. I mean, what was it, 9 sacks against the Titans? Whew. And they're coming into Denver and facing off a line outside of Dalton Risner is not looking good. Dalton Risner looking fantastic. He's going to be an all-star interior lineman for years to come with the Broncos or whoever else he goes to. That being said, the rest of the line is not looking good, and I think the Jaguars can feast on that offensive line. On the flip side, I think the Broncos finally can turn it up on the front seven, maybe get some quarterback pressures and sacks. The first sack of the season. They are the first team since 1960, which is 59 years, almost 60 years, to not have a sack nor a turnover through 3 weeks, which, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. And knowing that, I think the Broncos, they may not get a turnover, but I do think they get a couple sacks in this game. That being said, I do think they lose to the Jaguars 27-14. I think Gardner Minshew throws a couple touchdowns. I do think Leonard Fournette finally starts turning it on. I think he can have himself a game. I think on the other side, Philip Lindsay continues to have a good season. He had a really good game last week, and I think he continues that into this week. But as a whole, I think the Broncos aren't going to get it done this week either. Alright, the Vikings versus the Bears, a really good divisional matchup. I mean, a rivalry that goes back a long time and is really fierce over the years. They always play each other pretty well, and it's going to be in Chicago, Soldier Field. Vikings coming in off a really good performance against the Raiders. The Bears coming off a dominated game against the Redskins. But guess what? The Vikings offense isn't the same as the Redskins offense outside of quarterback. Bam! Case Keenum, Kirk Cousins, get it, because they were both Redskins and Vikings. Anyway, they have Dalvin Cook in the backfield. I think he's going to have himself a pretty big day, even against the Bears. I know, but even against the Bears, Akeem Hicks is a little banged up, and I think Dalvin Cook take advantage of that. Danny Trevathan and Roquan Smith, they're really good, but something's telling me they're going to have a tough day trying to get Dalvin Cook down. And I do think the Vikings come into Chicago and win 21-10 over the Bears. I think maybe this is Kirk Cousins' breakout game, but really I think Dalvin Cook is the thing that continues to get it done for the Vikings. And then on defense, the Vikings, I'm fairly certain they'll get a couple turnovers, at least on Trubisky and the Bears offense. I think they're going to be the thing that changes the game. I think the Vikings defense can put their offense into favorable situations, and then it's all about the offense coming through on it, and I think they do, and I think the Vikings win. Alright, Sunday Night Football, Cowboys versus Saints. This was going to be a really good one, and then Breeze went down. And then it's still going to be a good one, because Teddy Bridgewater came in, and he did what he needed to do to get a win on the road versus the Seahawks, which is very impressive. I told you. Don't think I didn't tell you, because I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. Anyone reference?
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
Anyway, but the Cowboys are a really good team coming in. Dak's having himself a really good season. Ezekiel Elliott coming off a pretty big game on the ground as well. Tony Pollard too. The 2 rushers over 100 yards. That's impressive for the running backs as well as that offensive line. The defense, on the other hand, had a rough game for most of the game against the Dolphins, which is ish. But I do think they can bounce back this week. If it's any week, it's going to be this week. A week that they're needed to show up because Alvin Kamara is going to be, balling out. If Teddy Bridgewater or even Taysom Hill can get it to Michael Thomas, that could be big. But no, in the end, I do think the Cowboys come out on top. It's going to be a close game. I really believe it's going to be a close game, and I know it's going to be in New Orleans. But guess who almost won in New Orleans? The Texans. Another Texas team coming in. But this time, I think they narrowly escaped with a win, 24-20 over the Saints. I do think that defense of the Cowboys finally steps up. Maybe Chidobe Awuzie gets himself a pick. Leighton Vander Esch might have a couple huge stops on Alvin Kamara. DeMarcus Lawrence might actually finally have a breakout game and actually be worth the money he's being paid right now. He hasn't shown up this season yet, but maybe in this game he can do that. It's going to be tough because the Saints offensive line is pretty good. He did last season, so maybe this season as well. And yeah, I do think the Cowboys come in to New Orleans and win. Alright, Monday Night Football, everybody. Are you ready? It's the Bengals versus the Steelers, 2-3-0 team. Oh wait, No, 0-3. They're 0-3 team. My bad. 0-3 teams. Winless teams, not undefeated. Coming in on Monday night should be a very exciting game. The Bengals versus the Steelers. The Bengals coming off a actually pretty good game where they came back down 14 against the Bills, which is tough to do, and narrowly lost in the end. The Steelers coming off a 5-turnover game and still losing to the Niners, which is an impressive feat in itself, but not for the reasons that they want it to be impressive. That being said, it's going to be at Heinz Field in Steelers territory. I think the Bengals lose to the Steelers 27-17. I think the Steelers can pull it out. I think Mason Rudolph finally has himself a pretty good game against a Bengals defense, which is not looking that good. I think Stephon Tuitt, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt is going to have a really good game against a Bengals line that is, again, not looking good. I think Joe Mixon might have himself a pretty big day on the ground. I think Andy Dalton might be able to even have a good day through the air. All in all, I think he's going to be put on his back a number of times, and I think on the flip side, I think the Steelers offense can take advantage of a defense of the Bengals that's outside of a couple players like Geno Atkins, Sam Hubbard, isn't performing nearly where they need to be, and the Steelers come away with a win. Alright everybody, that is week 4 pick'em predictions wrap up, whatever show. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Comment anything down below that you would love me to see. There's a copy and paste pick'em in the description down below, so copy and paste that in the comments. Feel free to pick who you think will win, score, whatever you want in the comments down below using that. Also, if you want bold predictions, what you think on my picks, anything of that nature, put it in the comments down below. I would appreciate it. And I think that's all for this one. So as always, I'm Buddy Strange. This is StrangeVoodooTV. Keep it strange, everybody. I'll see you in the next one, and peace out.